back with our Eyewitness Sasquatch. I've been out in the field for weeks now, doing tons of Sasquatch research, getting lots of success. Before that, I was finishing off a TV show that I did for Wild TV and the Cowboy Channel in the United States. That'll be coming out to you guys eventually. Before we get too far into the show, I'd love it if somebody could give me a quick sound check, make sure that everything's working good. Uh, we've had some issues from time to time, as my regular viewers know. And let's just have a look here. There we go. Sounds good. Poo cats. Thank you. There's my man Phil. How you doing today, sir? Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Yeah, sounds like everybody can hear me good. That's excellent. Australia, welcome the Yowie people. So questions. We need lots and lots of questions. The TV show for Wild TV went really well. I did 6 episodes. I may very well be doing more episodes with them. And I'm doing some research with a colleague of mine up north of Kamloops, British Columbia, and it's a really beautiful area. And then, yeah, just getting tremendous success at my own research area, and also, honestly, having some trouble when you have when you beat up your vehicles and beat up your equipment the way I do. I damaged my truck. I called some colleagues and did some catch up on the phone a few days ago. From the highway broke down with my truck. It's funny, I was talking to a colleague of mine when we're working on the trailer lights, and there's broken things here and things you got to fix there, and it's all for Sasquatch. It's funny to me. Everything is for Sasquatch. All the work we do, I became I fixed my electric mountain bikes. I, I, I know about trucks. I know about cameras. I know about directing and producing movies and editing and sound. And it's all for Sasquatch. It's all for Sasquatch. I never would have done any of this if it wasn't for Sasquatch. It's all about taking the tools I have and utilizing them to have success. And, it's, wow, it's a lot. So let's have a look at some of the questions that we have here today. Live on active property. Any advice? I live on an active property. Any advice for contact? Yeah, watch my movie and watch the episodes of Survivor Man. And then you can come back and ask me more specific questions, because I really put it all out there, in that movie. The movie's called Discovering Bigfoot, and the episodes of Survivor Man, Bigfoot with me in them. There's 4 of them, 2 from season 1 and 2 on season 2, and I think I put it all out there, and I give it the best I can. Hello, Jess. Good evening back to you. Hi, Charles. Glad to see you too. First like, thank you, Jordan. Hello, Katie. Poo cats. I'm just gonna call you cats from now on. I had a sighting up in Big White Ski Resort. Are you kidding me? Wow. I love the Okanagan. I don't know if this is news or not, but I'm moving to the Okanagan. That's where I want to go, and I want to raise my children in the beautiful Okanagan Valley of British Columbia. I want my children to grow up there and know that place. I just think it's amazing, and I know I haven't been to Big White yet. I've been all over. I'm a snowboarder. I love snowboarding. It's like when I'm not doing Sasquatch research in the winter, I do snowboarding and post production. So that's amazing. You had a setup by the Big Wheel Ski Resort. That's really cool. And Big White, that's Kelowna, right? Big White and then Silver Star. I don't know which one was which. Kelowna and Vernon, Big White and Silver Star. It's got to be close. The Okanagan is just a total hot spot. I intend to go to the Okanagan of British Columbia and just own it. I'm gonna release my next movie out there. I am working on finishing up another movie for Netflix. I'm working real hard on that, so that's kind of my goal right now. I'm going to take since I was able to complete and finish 6 episodes, 30-minute episodes for Wild TV. I figure if I put that much time and effort into the next, 5 or 6 weeks, I could have a good new production with new Sasquatch footage produced for Netflix. So hello, Andy. Thank you very much for tuning in. Kyle. How are you, Kyle, my friend? Thank you for tuning in today. Kyle stars in 3 of the episodes that I just did for Wild TV. Kyle is my New York liaison that we met, and he's the reason I went to the Adirondack Mountains and had just absolutely tremendous success. There are Sasquatch in the Adirondack Mountains, so absolutely no doubt about whatsoever. We had live interactions and found tremendous evidence of them. So, hello, Joseph. Hi, Todd from Georgia Mountainside. You believe in the theory Sasquatch are native bipedal creatures on Earth and we are the intruders? Absolutely. And let me finish that because I said absolutely before I even finished it. So he says, do you believe in the theory that the Sasquatch are the native bipedal creatures on Earth and we are the intruders? I definitely think so. Some of the Lloyd Pyle stuff, even beyond Lloyd Pyle, there's just a tremendous amount of evidence in the DNA now that shows that it's likely the Sasquatch are the indigenous, more specifically the indigenous hominids, and we are not. And actually, even the theory goes into the fact that we potentially had our DNA compromised by uh, not intruders, but alien life, I guess. And it's not paranormal to say aliens anymore. The United States government has recognized aliens. I know aliens exist. I don't do aliens though. I don't feel like I'm a paranormal researcher. When I deal with networks like Discovery Channel, Netflix, Amazon Prime, they always call me a paranormal researcher, one of the top paranormal researchers, and I don't like being called that. I take it with a grain of salt because I don't do paranormal. I do Sasquatch. Sasquatch are real. Like a lot of people that do UFOs and know that UFOs are real. Perhaps they don't consider it paranormal. I don't consider the native, just everything about what I do. It's not paranormal. I don't think Sasquatch exists. I just did an interview with Global TV, and they talked to me about since they don't know me at all, they've never done anything with me. They said, "So you fought to prove Bigfoot exists in a court of law in Canada," and that was the second thing I did legally. I did the petition to have them a protected species. And when she said, "Well, so you did the petition? Why'd you do that?" And I said, "Because I want the species recognized legitimately, and I want Fish and Wildlife to do their job." But she said to me, "What if you're wrong about the existence of Sasquatch? Is this a wall behind me? Am I wearing glasses on my is this my skin? Are these my teeth? That's how sure I am that Sasquatch are real, that these glasses are real. That's how sure I am. Like I don't think Sasquatch is real. I don't believe they're real. I absolutely know it. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. I've seen them, I've filmed them, I've gathered DNA evidence. I show people Sasquatch. They are real. I know they exist. I take people out and show them Sasquatch. So I know it's hard for other people to understand that, but that's who I am. That's what I do. Dragon Gamer, Todd, have you ever been to Hump Tulips River in Washington State? No. I've had two encounters and three visitors. Wow, that's amazing. Hey, speaking of global news, they just sent me a little message over here that I'll have to deal with later. Funny. Mr. Katz, yeah, they're in town 20 minutes past Big White at my cabin across the river. Then I just darted up the mountain and saw, well, that is about 3 years ago. That's so cool. Well, Mr. Katz, I wish it's crazy. You got a crazy name, Pooh Katz. And I'm that's hard for me to take you seriously with a silly name like that. But I sure would like it if you went to bigfootencounter@gmail.com and sent me an email because I'm coming to the Okanagan. For all you out there in the Okanagan, I'm coming. So I live in Calgary, Alberta, but my big move is coming up real soon. And yeah, and I would love to learn more, Mr. Katz, about your sighting. What happened? You have a cabin across the river? I mean, so they were right out there. It's such an abundant area too. That's just wonderful that you had that success. So fantastic. Boom! Hey, Todd. Hey, Sasquatch family. Hey, Royal Creations. Thank you very much for tuning in today, sir. I appreciate it. From Brazil. Wow. Australia, Brazil, New Zealand. That's so cool. Dragon Gamer says I had one right above me, and my son, when we were in the tent, I could hear them breathing and smell. It was awful. Yeah, if there's smell, then it's kind of an adversarial situation. Because if you smell a Sasquatch, if they have that odor, that means they feel in an aggressive position. Like a gorilla, as an example, when he's angry, when he's upset, his sweat glands will open up and literally droplets of urine will come out. So more often than not, in fact, almost all the time when I have encounters, there's no smell. None of my expeditioners report smell. We don't have smell because we're not in an adversarial position. If there was smell, I would definitely be concerned. Um, Definitely be concerned. So, uh, a little bit concerned, anyways. I don't know. Maybe don't be too concerned, but a guy that thinks is the title of this person. Hey Todd, hope as well. I'm moving north Georgia soon. In the mountains, any Sasquatch activity? Yes, I've heard of Sasquatch activity in northern Georgia. So I have a colleague out there who's been on expedition with me, and he's had some stuff and talked to some people, but nothing. Don't know of any research or anything. And I would just look up local people and start talking to local people, and if there's anything I can do to help, I would love to do that. Have you tried to collaborate with Sasquatch Ontario? No. There's some there's a lot of there's not just I don't know if it's Sasquatch Ontario, but there's some people that are I don't have a good relationship with in Ontario. I don't want to name any names, but they've been very ignorant. They deceived John Benenagel, and I called them out on it and showed John that John went out to Ontario. Some of these this particular group from Ontario, I don't know, they faked some tracks and stuff and hoaxed him, and I called them on it and showed John that and proved to John that they were hoaxing him, and then John told him he was upset with him, and he believed me, and he believed that they were hoaxing him, and then they got really ticked off at me. So piss on them. You're a hoaxer. You're a liar. Screw you. Have a good day. Do you have video 8 of Kubota on your channel? I can't find it. I would love to see a stabilized version. Oh, it's pretty stable. I don't know if we can stabilize Kubota much more. I was on the ground and that camera was like not moving. It was 50 times optical zoom, but I don't think it really needs to be stabilized. Uh, and we've done some people have done some work on it. It's good footage, but I don't. Video 8 is uh, one of the primary reasons to watch my movie, my documentary, and my documentary. It is on YouTube. It's on Amazon Prime right now, and I can't keep track of all the places. It's all Warner Brothers is distributing it. It's all over the place, so it's not hard to find at this point. Hey Todd, thank you, Kelly. The Sasquatch God, thank you. I would like to come to Florida soon, Kelly. So that's definitely on my agenda. I got that. Basically, what I'm doing now is just organizing my expeditions. I guess that should be a big announcement. Is so the expeditions are on for the United States. Americans are flooding into Canada now because Canada's opening up the border officially, and so starting in September and October, I have American expeditioners coming out. So and I just got that information last week, and I just put it out to expeditioners on Monday, and I'm just getting bombarded with organizing the expeditions. So even Canadians are coming out more. So everybody's kind of uh, I don't know. We're just moving around. COVID's it's time it's time to get on with life. It's time to get things done. So it's time to go back to living, and that's where I stand on that. No disrespect. If you're not happy, get a shot. If you don't want to get a shot, don't get a shot. Nobody should be forced to get a shot. That's my perspectives on that. And but it's time to get on with the world and do stuff. So, Andy, if you want to make a direct donation to the research, that is correct. Andy put up a link. You can make a donation at my website or at Patreon. It goes directly to Sasquatch Research because I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher. That's what I do. That's my job. Everything I do is about Sasquatch and Sasquatch research. That's that's my job. It's what I do. Todd Standing is a full-time Sasquatch researcher. If I'm not working on post-production, if I'm not filming stuff, I'm talking to people about it. Um, I'm even uh, I'm even gonna go to Missouri. This is a bit of an announcement too. I'm gonna speak at a little Sasquatch festival there. So I'm gonna be a speaker and have a presentation. So I'm very agreeable to do that stuff as well. So if you're interested in getting me to come out to your festival, I'm gonna start doing that a little bit, anyways. So Brick Mafia says stick her out there in the dark, like when you threw the tree limb at you, and then she'll know how real you feel. Okay, he's talking about something else. The skunk ape, I think, would be easier to study in Florida. Oh, yeah, Jim. But there's people doing good research in Florida, so I wish them success. That's not my home. I'm not going to move to Florida to do Bigfoot research and start from ground zero. I'm having really good success here in my research area in Radium, British Columbia. Central Michigan and Bigfoot wildlife. Charles, what part of Michigan? So you guys are talking about Michigan. That's cool. I love it when people cooperate and share information. Hi all, keep up the great wood work, Todd. Thank you, Mr. Bobbert. That says Bobbert too, not Robert. Are you going to come to Arizona to search for Sasquatch? Mad love. I'm going to come to Arizona for a vacation. I have William, a friend of mine who's an expeditioner, lives in Arizona, and I really want to come see him. So I'm going to come to Arizona. Do Sasquatch research there, though? Oof. It would be very superficial. I would like to help people, but um, no, I'm not going to start really getting committed to Arizona Sasquatch research. Like, just as an example, like I'm going to make a commitment to Florida Sasquatch research, New York Sasquatch research, in the Adirondacks, going back to Washington to make a commitment there. I may make a commitment back to California and Oregon. You see how it's getting too thin, right? And I already have my stuff here in Canada. Hello, Kyla. Thank you for tuning in today, Kyla. Hey, Todd. I'm a Navajo American Indian from Arizona. I've seen the one with the grayish white face one. I know that I know where they live at. You're the first one I'm telling, and if you come to Arizona, okay. Okay. Okay, looks like so I just had a question up here about coming to Arizona. Is that the same person? Is that a coincidence? Who said that? So, where is it? I'm just looking through the comments here because I'm trying to figure out if that's a coincidence. So, Los Angeles says, "Are you ever coming to Arizona?" And then just underneath it, someone says he's a So, someone said Dwayne Alzei says he's a Navajo American Indian from Arizona. That's what I would do. I would come to Arizona. So Dwayne Alyazi, send an email to bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Bigfootencounter@gmail.com. And let's do it. Find me on Facebook. Send me an email. Go to my website. Hit contact us. It's discoveringbigfoot.org is my website. There was a link posted up above a minute ago. You need to get a hold of me because, man, I am coming to Arizona. I was going to make it a vacation, and now I can make it a fun vacation to have an original Navajo Native American show me where they live. So I'm in, and I got an amazing colleague out there who's just tough as nails, like a special forces firefighter beast monster, and look at that. That would be amazing. So, uh, Andy or one of my people here, can you put up just write www.discoveringbigfoot.org so Dwayne Alyazi can get that link and then go there. Just make an effort. Phil will catch it. Amanda will catch it. Somebody will catch it. If you really want to get a hold of me, ta-da! Brick Mafia says just Indiana here. So, hello from Northern Alberta, a place I'm very familiar with. Um, let's see here. Steve had an encounter with four over 15 years ago. One gave birth to a new one. He has the same dark coat as his grand. Wow, you seem to have a lot of knowledge, Steve. Very cool. Very, very cool. Hi, Todd. Do you like those pictures from Indiana? Oh yeah. So, Marty, right? You sent me pictures on Facebook. I really gotta have a harder look at them. I was kind of shocked, and I need to know about the camera because they're. I can get. I mean, I'm not a photo expert, and I can get fooled by things. So they look. I mean, it looks like a Sasquatch face, but it's blue, and there's some strange stuff. And it was taken with an old flip phone. So I got to do some more. But I'm very grateful for sending me those, and I'm very interested in looking at them some more because they're pretty interesting. So yeah, so there's Dwayne again. I will introduce you to them. They live in a volcano mountain area. That is so cool, Dwayne. This is very very cool stuff, Dwayne. astonishing. So yeah, Royal Creations, para means alongside, so paranormal means that which is alongside, which that is so cool. Thank you, Royal Creations. Root meanings of words are really have been a very important piece of my life. And when someone comes, so yeah, paranormal, and that makes sense alongside. So I just don't, you know, paranormal is a lot. It's a lot of times associated with kind of weirdness and stuff like that. And the reason I don't like it is when you go into a reserve, or even this gentleman here, this Navajo uh, native, you go in a reserve and they tell you about Sasquatch and you treat them like they're weird. Oh, this is paranormal, and it's disrespectful. I did it. I'm saying it because I did it, and now I see other people doing it, and I see why the natives will just shut up, or even not just natives, just people that know about Sasquatch. I find it very disrespectful when you treat them like it's paranormal and they're crazy and they didn't see it. So, you know, I just don't like the paranormal side of it. Make sure that when you go into a place or you're dealing with an indigenous person of any kind, and by indigenous I mean just a local person who's been born and raised there, knows the land, sometimes second, third generations. You know, be respectful. Don't give them silly looks, and I don't know, just be respectful to people. So, because Sasquatch exists, and I don't know, respect is a big thing for me. I don't, yeah, I just don't want to be disrespectful to people. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Central Michigan Bigfoot and Wildlife. Washanigo Man 2019. Good on your protecting Bitternagel. Protecting Bitternagel. John Bitternagel is an absolute hero of mine. I consider him a father figure in my life. I give him that much credit. Literally, I he's like a father figure to me, and I just can't say enough good things about that man. It really they broke the mold when they made John Bitternagel, and I miss him. Do you have a Bigfoot encounter story that you can share to us? Submit it to. There it is. There's the forum. Thank you, Andy. Uh, just like us, Native Americans, they also live in different tribes, watching over this great land's blessing from Arizona. Thank you very much, Dwayne. And that really is that's what I'm seeing too. Is they live in different tribes. Yeah, and even when I do research, that shows you might hear me say, "Well, I go into an area and the Sasquatch don't accept me because it's a different tribe." And some accept me, like California, where I filmed a Sasquatch and had success with Sasquatch. I'll never go back there because that tribe wants nothing to do with me, thoroughly dislikes me. I believe the male of that tribe would harm me. And it was no different. Like, you might get Cree Indians that are great and loving and amazing to you. And then you go see some Iroquois and they scalp your ass and throw you in the ditch, right? So, no different than white people. You go over to France, they make you some wine, you have some bread, you go over to Germany, and the Germans do what they do. Anyway, just different countries, different people, right? Different tribes. So, here we go. Sorry, I don't know what that's about. What happened to the hair Todd? There's a reason for it. We'll talk about it some other time. So KDF, open borders. Yeah, requiring shots. I don't want to get into the COVID thing, Katie, too much. You need a shot to come across the border, and that really bothers me. So, hello UK, love for Todd. It just bothers me. Thank you, King Num. Uh, it just bothers me that they're forcing people to get a shot. You don't have freedom unless you get a shot, and that really bothers me, and I have a big problem with that. I don't like any means of control. People damn well should have the right to choose to get a shot or not. It's their decision. So forcing that upon them, taking away their freedoms, you are taking away someone's freedom. If they're not allowed to travel out of the country, that's taking away their freedom. People here in Canada have properties out in the United States and Mexico. They own properties. And now they're being forced to get a shot to go to their homes, to their properties where they live, where they bought. Is that right? Hell no, it's not right. If they don't want to take a shot, if they want to take the risk of with COVID, they have every right to do that. And it bothers me that's being forced upon them. And what's next? You don't get to go into shopping marts. You don't get to go into stores. You don't get to go to parks because you don't have your little COVID card. You see the control happening? This is not okay with me. So that's just my opinion. So just be careful. Missouri has a ton of COVID right now. We're talking about COVID. So if you, anyways, no more COVID talk today. Deb, hello, Todd from Oregon. Hello, Oregon. Washington. We have some in Oklahoma. There we go. Paranormal Truth Seeker. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm sure. So, Mindy Weeks, they just had a Bigfoot conference in Smoky Mountains. That's right. I just heard about that. Beautiful place. You might want to check it out next year. I would, yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't know about that. I just heard about it from a gentleman who was speaking there and had a cool photograph. And yeah, it looks great. I love, I'm the guy that people call me and I'll come. So I did the Sasquatch Summit in Washington State. Guy called me, I talked to him, and I went. So I'm not really going to go out there and try to sell myself. I am what I am. If you're interested in me coming out, then that's totally cool. So we have a store on our website with hats and cool stuff. I have nothing that I'm wearing today. So in 81 and 83, I had lots of encounters with a skunk ape. This is from Jim S. He never he never stunk. He was always very close to me. A few times had lots of chances to do something. I was 13 in 1983. Congratulations, Jim. There's something special about you if you had a Sasquatch encounter like that. I bring fireworks camping because I need to scare bears away. Would that work for Sasquatch if I ever felt threatened? Oh man, that's a good question. I would never do that but because I want them to come around. Obviously, I don't know. Don't know what to tell you about fireworks to scare off a Sasquatch. My heart tells me, just let me think about this for a second because I don't want to give inappropriate advice. I have so much experience with them that my heart tells me not to shoot a firework at them or a firecracker because you need to understand what they're telling you. If they want you to leave, you should leave. It's their home, they live there. If they're going to be aggressive with you, I don't think a firework is going to stop them. The day I had that flare that I was screaming at them, it didn't seem to do anything to keep them away from me. They were doing what they were doing. They didn't seem very afraid of. They showed no fear of that flare whatsoever. Um, so I would say if you're scared about Sasquatch in a certain area and you feel threatened, leave. You shouldn't be there. Just leave and don't come back. It's their home. They live there. They have to hunt and survive there. We are not of the wilderness. You're a civilized human being. You live in civilization. It's not your home. Stay away. And or try to push through it and don't start a flare and don't shoot them with fireworks and see what you can learn. Because remember too, you're dealing with a species. These guys are baptized in harsh environments. They're tough. They're big giant primates. They probably kick the crap out of each other. Like gorillas and chimpanzees are just so tough, right? They're really, really tough. There's all kinds of stuff that they'll do that we don't tolerate: emotional abuse, physical abuse. They're just tough. They lived hard lives, survival of the fittest. They've seen death. They're hunters. So they're going to come off as harsh. They're going to come off as brutish, even if they're not trying to be. And persevere is my suggestion. It's no different than what Diane Fossey or Jane Goodall, those absolute heroes, did with gorillas and chimpanzees. They persevered. They took their bumps and their beatings and their hard times along with the good times, right? So I just have so much respect for the species. I can't see a reason. I mean, if you're in dire need, shoot some fireworks up. Don't shoot it at the Sasquatch, though. Don't shoot your fireworks at the Sasquatch and do not harm them. You don't want them retaliating. That's one thing I'll tell you. I'm glad I thought about that. Do not shoot fireworks at them. Do not try to harm them. Because, oh my God, if you harm one of them, if you cause pain to one of their family members, you may not survive. That is the surest way to death. So you don't hurt them. Don't harm them. Be sure you don't do that. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking fireworks are probably a really bad idea. So King Num, Todd, I had a very scary experience of a bipedal creature stalking me for 4 nights straight during my night shifts at the Festival of the Forest in the UK. Ooh, well, I'm not sure they're in the UK, and I know it might be a hurtful statement, but I'm kind of leaning towards because I don't know. I'll say I don't know. I haven't been there, but I have people that I trust telling me there's just no chance of it. So, you know, I don't know if Sasquatch are there for sure. So that's all I have to say about that. And I've never seen any evidence in the folklore, in the history of Britain, Britannia, the UK, Ireland, Scotland, about a Sasquatch. The indigenous people that live there, which are the Scottish and the Irish, should have some history of it, and they don't. They certainly have it in here in North America. So that's all I have to say about that. Minority Reporter, do Bigfoot eat crystals? I don't know why they would ever eat crystals. Never heard anything like that. In a broad country sunrise, when the area was up being built up, Jim S., we were on the edge of the Everglades. Okay, that's when you had an encounter, I'm assuming. Let's see what else I got here, Peter. How dangerous are Sasquatch? Minimally. Far less dangerous than bears and mountain lions, I'll tell you that much. So they can kill you. If you harm them, if you piss them off, you could disappear. But I've never been harmed. They have harmed people. They have killed people. Absolutely. People kill people every day. How dangerous are we? They're far less dangerous than we are. You're just going to have to take every situation as an original. Sasquatch are completely original tribes, completely original individuals. I don't know what's going on. A Sasquatch comes around you, maybe it's a father and some guy that looks like you just shot his son. He's done with people. Maybe some human beings came and shot his son and his wife. Now you're going to have to deal with that. That's a dangerous Sasquatch. Do you know that happened? I don't know. I can literally sit here and come up with 1,000 scenarios of how they could be dangerous because somebody did something to them. But I know that you're dealing with a highly intelligent, highly evolved, spiritual, connective being, and they don't. They're not going to do like a bear would kill you and eat you, or a mountain lion would kill you and eat you. That's not going to happen with the Sasquatch. I don't think. It's very unlikely. So that's just my. I guess it's a big long explanation. I have enough knowledge and understanding of them. I feel no danger around Sasquatch at all. I'll back up towards them. I'll put my gun away when they're around. Um, I'm just at a level. I don't think a bear expert should do that. I do have a high level of expertise around wild bears. High level. I would never put my gun away. I draw my gun when a bear's around. Draw it and cock it, and I will fire it if I feel threatened. I would never do that with a Sasquatch. Same thing with a mountain lion. So with wolves around, I wouldn't even draw my gun. I would just keep my gun. I would throw my gun away around wolves too. So I feel no danger with them. These are my experiences. And now that I've had over 1,000 days of hardcore backcountry expedition experience into the most remote regions of North America and Canada and the United States, I can say I have a certain level of expertise that people should respect because I've never been harmed and I've literally taken out over 100 people on expedition into the wilderness. People with very little to no skills often. They all come home safe. So that should speak something to me. I was guided survivor man. I guided PhD wildlife biologist John Bennernagel. I guided him successfully. And of these, both Survivor Man and John Bennernagel were successfully guided to me and respected and appreciated my skills and felt safe and were well taken care of. And I could use them as a reference. So I'm at that level. So at that level of expertise, I feel they're not dangerous. And it's unfortunate that there will be Sasquatch that blatantly kill and there will be Sasquatch that are overly predatory. It's going to happen. I'm sure it's happened in the 411 series, but that's not the majority of what's going on out there. The majority is they are peaceful, tranquil, good beings that I admire. It it so Marty's saying it many different kinds. Are there many different kinds? It Seems so, or at least I think so. No, I wouldn't say they're different kinds. There's different individuals, but there's just one species of Bigfoot. Is there a smaller species, subspecies in Texas as opposed to the Sasquatch in Alaska, which would be huge? Well, yeah, the black bears and the deer, like the species I saw deer in Texas. I was like, man, what's the matter with all those little deer? Like look like a bunch of babies. It's because they're deer, but they're just small because they live in a warmer climate. The bears are small in Texas as opposed to Alaska. So just through that, that's a universal law in nature. As things get warmer, the same species will get smaller, but more abundant. So there'll be more Sasquatch theoretically, and they'll be smaller, but they'll be the same species. So UFO Don America on YouTube. They are sneaky. Yeah, sneaky's a good word. Very sneaky, very intelligent, very ahead of the game. Mr. Bobberts, any sighting in the UK, England that anyone know of? I know we have a lot of big cat sightings. What about Sasquatch? Yeah, and I have my colleague Amanda is very strongly frowns upon any legitimate sightings in UK. And of course, I've met people that are strongly convinced that Sasquatch exists, but I have to fall to the trust of my colleague who I've known for years now, and I trust Amanda. And so I lean towards, and with other bits of evidence, I lean towards them. It's very unlikely that they're in the UK, but I could be wrong. I haven't even been to the UK, so these are just my speculation. Ontario here. Where are the hot spots here? Oh my God, in Ontario? Gosh, I don't really know because I haven't really done Sasquatch research out there. You're just going to have to look into it because Ontario is an incredibly huge province with tons of terrain for Sasquatch. But there's also been some serious ecological damage. I hear you don't have brown bears out there. That's awful. That's when you've done damage to a species like that. Perhaps you could argue that brown bears are not a keystone species like wolves, but when you've annihilated a species, that's not cool. I mean, that's horrible. For God's sake, in California, on the flag they have a, a brown bear or a grizzly bear, and they killed them all. There's no wild bears in California, and it's their state symbol. And they, anyways, I don't want to get into that. Just this the way humanity is just really shocks me and hurts my heart. So Royal Creation says there's some good video of Sasquatch crossing the Cass River in Michigan recently. Anyone seen it yet? I have not, or maybe I have. I saw something. I'm not sure that's what it was, but I leave it up to you guys. I'm boots on the ground, so I'll look at stuff and I'll review stuff. But I'm not really on the internet, especially in the summer. I'm all in the field and stuff. So hey Todd, hey Andy, Jess here back from Washington. How's it going, brothers? Thank you for tuning in, Jess. We are good. That's when my friend and I were hooked. It says Jim S. I've seen Sasquatch before in Idaho wilderness. They are so in Idaho, Donald. So in Idaho. I've been down there for a few times, even to go interview Jeff Meldrum. And for God's sake, like there where the salmon are spawning, there's tree breaks all over the place. They're so in Idaho. And I've met with some people. What was I doing out there? I was just I think it was a Sasquatch summit. Somebody came from Idaho that had pictures of a Sasquatch and all this knowledge of Sasquatch. And I was just there like big eyes going, that's some pretty impressive pictures. It looked like my photographs. Just look very, very similar. And he just said, yeah, they're my photographs. I don't want nobody to know about them. I'm just doing my own research. And he contacted me and asked me questions for a few years, and then I never heard from him again. But he was from Idaho, and I am 100% convinced that guy was studying Sasquatch in Idaho. He apparently had like 40 acres somewhere, and it backed onto this big, huge, national forest. And he's got Sasquatch out there, and he's just retired and loving life, and he's interacting with them. And I wish him all the best. 100%. Amazing. It's amazing to me that just like I wanted to I would love to look at those photos. I'd love to talk more, but this man was just content with what he was doing. That's what makes him special. That's why the Sasquatch like him, because there's no ego with this guy. He has a thing going on with Sasquatch. He took these incredible photographs that I'm firmly convinced are absolutely legitimate. I don't say that about Sasquatch photographs very often, but just with the questions he was asking, the things he was telling me, and then the what had happened for him to get those photographs, I was extremely convinced he was legitimate. Just even the look in his eyes, the energy he was putting out, just the honesty of him. And then at the end of the day, he didn't share those photographs. They're his. He says they belong to me and my family. He says that, and he told me if his son, when my boy gets older, if he wants to show them now in public, he can. Other than that, they're for us. And I just admired that. No ego, family first, live his life first, have his own success with Sasquatch, and nothing but respect for that kind of attitude. Total respect. Jesse Edwards. Oh yeah, I didn't end up going to Mount Hood. Didn't have any buddies. Oh, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that. So Bigfoot is real. What about Dogman? I don't know anything about Dogman. Talked about it a few times. Never seen one. Never saw convincing evidence of their existence. Jesse Edwards says, no, not recently, but planning a trip out to the Sunoka area. Heard from some fellow friends that had some activity. That's awesome. Good luck on your endeavor, Jesse. Bounce slab, real nature. They are real species and we have interactions with them regularly. Putting out information on them publicly makes them a target, but there are no groups, but there are groups that remove them. Really? Huh. If you would like to educate me more, Bounce Slab and Real Nature, first of all, if you want to contact me, bigfootencounter@gmail.com, or go to my website, uh, www.bigfoot.discoveringbigfoot.org, because I can collaborate with you in absolute secrecy if you like. You'll hear me talk about people all the time. So I'd be interested in hearing more about your perspectives. And I have a very open mind. If you convince me of something, I'll be convinced of it. So, and I'll share my thoughts, and you share yours, and you never know. Maybe you could be the man that convinces Todd Stanton to stop doing the Sasquatch research. So, Dwayne is back. Hello, Dwayne. They know you and Les Stroud. I placed 4 pictures of you and Les, and 2 more just random pictures of people. A plant feather was placed on you and Les's pics. That is so cool. Cool. What a smart thing to do. Smart on you, Dwayne. Wow, I'm impressed. I've had a lot of shaman, and even not shaman, I had a woman who has glyphs and communicates with them, and multiple other people telling me they talk to they have a way of communicating with the Sasquatch. They talk to the Sasquatch about me, and then the Sasquatch tell me more often I get a yes, but sometimes anyway. I just think that's really cool. What a wonderful way to communicate. That is so cool. So cool. Congratulations to you. I love that stuff. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. You made this show so much fun. Thank you very much, Dwayne. I grew up in Gretshaw, Oregon, and used to walk down to Johnson Creek to school and home, and have seen something that looks like a Sasquatch. They hide so well. It's incredible how they hide and move, and uh, absolutely amazing. Congratulations, Donald. That's so cool. And I'm excited to come to Oregon sometime soon. I really need to get down there. Paranormal Truth Seeker. Here they here they call them wild men here, the Comanche. Yeah, that's a good name for them, the wild men. So there's Dwayne again. That's how I know if they know you. A spiritual confirmation. And see, Dwayne, there's so much going on that you must understand. There's a universal consciousness out there. There's no Sasquatch troop, there's no Sasquatch group that I should go to and they don't know who I am. Because the Sasquatch know me. I really am interacting with them. I really do have footage of them. They really exist and they all know me. They should all know me. And and based on what they know about me, they agree with what I'm doing or not because they're individuals, right? And I strongly feel that. I strongly feel even you got to understand there's every day thousands of people at the minimum are watching me and thinking about me, and that puts something out there, right? So even more so with Survivor Man, there's more people watching him. There's more energy. When I met Survivor Man, I could feel that he had that thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were watching his stuff. I could feel that energy coming off him, and it made him like looking at the sun. It was bright, and I have a little bit of that. I have some powerful energy, and with all the thoughts and so many people wishing me blessings and thinking good things and watching my stuff all the time, and it does. It gives me a power, and and the fact that I am nearly obsessed with Sasquatch, I think about Sasquatch, it's just something that's in me. It's embedded inside of me, and it it shows. So I'm telling you guys this because I hope it helps anybody with the research. So you can do this. See, I do it with this this kind of energy, but there's beautiful, humble energy. There's quiet energy. There's people. There's a Sasquatch. There are many Sasquatch that don't want me around because they don't like that energy. It's a kind of energy, and it's different. If somebody comes in humbly and quiet, that would be very attractive to a Sasquatch, wouldn't it? So don't think you need to get famous. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that I am, and it's the way it is with me. But think about how beautiful it is to come in humbly and gently and have your own. It's all about you and them. It's your journey. That's beautiful, right? Beautiful. So no matter which way you look at it, we can go get our success. So the reason I'm saying this is I want to encourage anybody to do this kind of research that's passionate about it and has a love for it. You don't have to be famous. You don't need to be famous. Uh, do it your way. Be you. That's the surest way to success is being true to yourself and doing it in a way for yourself and being true to yourself. The surest way to failure is to try to do it like me. Just talking to a friend today about how crazy I am, how crazy stuff I do, because I'm very passionate and I really want this discovery done, and it's really important to me. So I do crazy things, and I'm afraid not to. Donald Steele says our Sasquatch is violent. Not really. Will they ever kill you for trespassing in their land? I don't think so. So, but again, there's going to be the outliers, right? Most bears truly aren't violent. I'm telling you this because in my research area, there are dozens of bears that come through there, and dozens of bears stay away from me every year. But I've built an appropriate relationship with them, and I'm doing things systematically to ensure that keeps happening. So I don't have problems with bears. We don't know enough about Sasquatch and their land. What is trespassing their land? And sometimes they would be angry about that. I've heard about that stuff. It's so hard to answer these questions because there's so many layers to it. There is no one answer. I can't tell you enough about my Sasquatch in my research area that I study. I've been studying for over a decade. So each Sasquatch, again, I'll go back to a story, just a quick story. I'm at the Calgary Zoo. I'm there with a colleague, and this gorilla's like touching my hand and touching me gently and looking at my fingernails and very interested in me. And it's wonderful. And I'm giving the gorilla carrots. Like there's a big steel cage there, but it's a wonderful experience. So this female gorilla moves on. Another gorilla comes up to me and reaches out for me, and the primatologist dives at me and smacks my hand out of the way and goes, "No!" And I went, "What's wrong?" I was touching that gorilla. She said, "That gorilla's from the wild. She'll rip your arm off and beat you to death with it. She would attack you and bite you. She's violent." Oh, I didn't know. So gorillas are original. Every dog is original. You can't ask me, are dogs violent? Are pit bulls violent? Well, I've known pit bulls. I have a Roddy right here with me. Look at this. Hey, nice girl. Ari, gonna make you famous. Look at that. Can you see that? There she is. Where is she? That's my Roddy, who's sitting with me right now. She's the biggest sweetheart in the whole world. She doesn't harm people. She's a Rottweiler. A dog that's people are terrified and afraid of. She's a sweetheart. She's not violent. I don't think she could harm anything. She's had all the violence bred out of her. So, we just can't be universal about things. The best thing I can tell you is just try to go with what your heart tells you and be cautious. Err on the side of caution for your own safety, right? Okay, we'll just do a couple more questions. I'm really enjoying the show as always. Washington State Environmental Atlas discovered in their, yes, flora and fauna. That's right. About It's really cool that happened too. About the Washington State Environmental. That's from Jordan Alexander. What's Oregon? He said, "I'm ready when you are." What does he mean by that? Bigfoot like instrumental beats. Interesting. Um, Jerry, U.S. government has recently acknowledged the reality. Yes, they have. Do you think the U.S. government acknowledgement of Sasquatch species is imminent? No. I think we're gonna have to shove it down their throats, and they'll deny it to the very end. It's too much with UFOs. They're not an indigenous species. They don't have land rights. When this is an indigenous, not just an indigenous species, an indigenous people, they're gonna have land rights. It's gonna affect money. just follow the money, guys, and the money's telling me it's not going to happen unless I cram it down their throats and make it happen. So, Todd, you need to come out. Todd, you need to come out to Ohio. I love Ohio. I've been to Ohio. I would love to go there again. We'll see what happens. Okay, Uncle Bones, Jack Stan Racing. I believe only black bears still in. Yeah, that's correct. There's only black bears in California. So, Craig Stewart, think you're awesome. Thank you. And I believe, but never seen one. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada. Not known for any here. Oh, I think they are. There's been some stories in Nova Scotia. They took all tree markers down in Radium Springs after I spotted. What? Curtis S. So, Radium Springs is the area, the general area I do my research. They took all the tree markers down on Radium Springs after I spotted the 3-member clan. Huh. Very interesting. You might be looking at the same Sasquatch I am. So Jack Stan Racing says I've seen brown bears. They're still around. Where, in California or Ontario? Because they shouldn't be in California, and I'm quite sure that they're not in Ontario anymore. Okay, why do their eyes glow like there are lights behind them? Their eyes glow because they can see in the dark like a mountain lion, like a cat. When your eyes are glowing, that means you have the ability to see in the dark, and they can see very well in the dark from my information and from my experience. Please continue your work, Todd. You're very brave. Thank you, Mario. I am not going anywhere anytime soon. Jackstan Racing, I believe you, but they say they are extinct. Okay, you guys, interesting conversation there. Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks, good day, my friend. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. You're 7:41. You're a little late, but thanks for being here all the same. TY Andy, the eyes were bright red. Huh. Good day, sir. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Hello, Todd. Nice to see you. Thank you, Nora. Nice to have you on today. Dwayne says, good question, Dwayne. Where's Dwayne's question? Oops, my comment and energy. Todd Standing, do you believe there are different types, type A, B, C, and so on? No. I think they're just one species. I talked about that a little earlier, too. Make a grown man cry. Okay. Please hit the thumbs up, says Andy. Thank you. I'm passionate as well. I think a lot of us are passionate, aren't we? And some people show it in different ways. So I have a tendency to be outwardly passionate. I have a tendency to be vocally passionate and to get a little crazy. And I like that about myself. I'd rather overdo it than underdo it. And when I've worked so hard for something and I just blow up when I get it, yeah, I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna be emotional. I'm gonna be passionate. It's just part of my nature, and I'm happy with how I am. So, and if you're humble and quiet and keep things to yourself, you should be proud of the way you are. I wish I was more like that sometimes, but I'm not. So just accept who I am. Pammy Cycle says, huge 14 to 16 foot tall, reddish haired, came from 4 feet to me. Its back was 5 feet wide. Pammy, that sounds so cool. 14 to 16 foot tall? Ugh, I hope they're not that big. Gosh. I talked about this before, where I have one of the most credible people in the whole world, Randy Brisson, I'm just going to say his name, believes they get that big, and I strongly disagree with him. And yet, listen to what I just said. Randy Brisson is one of the most credible Sasquatch researchers I've ever met. He is outstanding, and I completely disagree with him, and he's completely proved me wrong more times than I've proved him wrong. So, who's right here? Roger Ray, thank you very much, Roger, for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. Chat room will be open after Todd's stream is over. Those want to continue tapping, thank you. When you talk to people like if Kyle and Andy, of course Phil, when you talk to those guys in the chat room, I will not be in the chat room. I've got a ton of work to do today. But you talk to them, it gets to me. So, and they're in these shows. They're always out here. Listen to what those guys say. They're very, very knowledgeable. They've seen so many of these shows. They've watched my videos, and I try to put all my information out there. So if you haven't watched all my videos and you're missing things, you want to learn stuff, Phil's had private conversations with me. So, and if Phil doesn't know the answer and you give him an important question, he's going to get to me. Phil just goes, beep, 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 says, hey, Todd, calls me all the time. Got this thing, need to talk to you about it. And, go impress Phil. And it gets to Todd Stanley. If it gets to Todd Stanley, it gets to Jeff Meldrum, gets to Les Stroud. You see what's happening? And so there's really good reasons for you to go to those chat rooms and talk. And I really encourage you to do that. So, yes, thank you very much, Roger Revy. Did you have a question, sir? So, really appreciate your support. This is Randall from Florida. Love your work, Todd. I have aspirations of becoming a Bigfoot researcher. Nice. Skunk ape researcher. I live less than 10 miles from the prime skunk ape territory called Green Swamp. Well, I wish you tremendous success, my friend. Lots of good researchers out there I've spoken with, and, you know, find your way and use anything I have to help you move along. Take my movie, take my Survivor Man shows, take my evidence, and if it helps you move forward with this discovery, then that's what it's for, first and foremost. So, uh, have a good day, Todd. Andy, got a call, got to go somewhere. Thank you, Jess. Central Michigan Bigfoot says hello, and I'm pretty much done for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this awesome show. Um, really enjoyed it again. Uh, and what are the odds of me being back next week? I think they're pretty high. I think I said that 3 weeks ago though, and it wasn't around for a bit. So I'm just gonna keep working on my expeditions mostly right now. If you want to come on expedition with me, go to the expeditions page on discoveringbigfoot.org. That's kind of what my primary thing has been this week. Been terribly busy doing that. Just signed up some like 3 new expeditioners this week, 4 more on the go. It's just because the border opened up and it really changes things. The people have been trying to get it to come out for years and COVID stopped them. So um, so that's what I'm doing. That's my priorities right now. Go to the chat room, discoveringbigfoot.net. There's links that Phil has put in and Andy has put in. So have a look at those. And yeah, I'll be back next week, maybe the week after that. So just randomly, we've got hundreds of people on here right now. So and if you miss the live chat, you can always watch it later, right? Because it's always on YouTube. So um, I don't. Yeah, it's just my life. It's just the way it is. So thank you so much, guys. I love doing this show. You guys are awesome. Good therapy. I hope you enjoyed yourselves today, and I'll be back next week. We could pretty much count on it. 90% chance I'll be back next week. So until then, take care. And there'll be lots of new content, lots of new stuff happening. This research is moving forward. I am a full time Sasquatch researcher, and I am getting results and having tremendous success. And I will be passing on that knowledge to you uh, as soon as I get it. So until then, take care and stay safe.